she gets so much attention from her teachers, from her peers. She not only gets to play, but she gets to learn with her peers and from her teachers. She's so inquisitive by nature, so she asks a lot of questions. And there are people there to kind of answer those questions and to guide her through it. And she can speak about it with her friends too.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
Well, when we were looking for a school for Mary, that's exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for a school. So we had done a lot of research, and we had read a lot about the differences between traditional childcare and early learning. And we were excited about early learning, and we were excited about a place for Mary to kind of to learn as opposed to just be cared for. And so that was a big one for us. And of the schools out there that were early learning schools, CEFA really stood out in terms of what their offering was. We talked to a lot of parents too. And we know and have known lots of parents who, had their kids in CEFA and were either currently in CEFA or graduated and now in elementary school. And there were just a lot of positive things that they had said about both their experience as a family and both the experience for their child as well as they progressed to elementary school. So that was a big one for us. And it led for us to kind of to choose CEFA in the end. Actually, to be quite honest with you, we did have an experience with a childcare facility. And we really saw the difference between that service and that school versus CEFA. And that really solidified our decision for sure. Yeah, I think that at first it's always going to be a transition. So she was at a traditional childcare facility up until she was 2, and there wasn't a lot of curriculum there. And when she transitioned over to CEFA, it was different. She was learning new things, and it wasn't all just unstructured play. And so there was a little bit of a transition where she had a bit of a learning curve, but she really gravitated towards it. And it's now something that she craves. It's now something that she talks about a lot. And even on the weekends, she'll ask us if we've got any activities for her, like, where's my activity? Something that she's really excited about. If my daughter had to choose her favorite thing at CEFA, it would be the fact that she gets so much attention, really. She gets so much attention from her teachers, from her peers. She not only gets to play, but she gets to learn with her peers and from her teachers. She's so inquisitive by nature, so she asks a lot of questions. And there are people there to kind of answer those questions and to guide her through it. And she can speak about it with her friends too. And so it's been a really great experience for her. I mean, we can see her grow, and every day she comes back and she learns more, and she teaches us a few things as well. So I think that the fact that it's a real community for her, which is really great, because as she kind of graduates and goes into elementary school and kindergarten, she's really prepared to be part of a community, to be an active part of a community, how to interact in that way. And she'll have grown and sort of flex her muscles in those areas in advance of being thrown into that scenario as well. So I think she really enjoys that as well. We can see her really blossom as a social being, after being in CEFA. So yeah, I think that's it for her. As a parent, it's really nice to see, because she's excited about learning, and that carrying on to elementary school, high school, and just learning in general is such an exciting thing to see in your child. If there's one thing that CEFA could change in the future, um, I guess if there could be a specific alignment through to kindergarten, that'd be great. So the whole idea is to really have a great learning experience for children right now. And I know that each province has their specific kindergarten readiness tools and assessments for kids when they get into kindergarten to help them understand if a child is ready to kind of be in that social environment, to be in that academic environment. And I think it would be great if CEFA had sort of a kindergarten readiness assessment. And I know that the CEFA students would do great in all of those areas, which is why I think it would be great to see that, so that we can have something to I don't know, even if we wanted to put it up on the wall or something like that, just to showcase, that they're ready for the next step, that their reading skills are there, that their social skills are there, and their academic skills, and even their physical skills are there, and it aligns with the next step for them in the school system. So I think that is more of a communication thing versus what is actually happening in the school, because I know that's happening in the school, but it would be nice for them to have that, something like that. Yeah, when I first visited the school, we did the tour, and it was really cool that it was before COVID, so we were actually able to kind of get into the schools and sort of see what was going on in class, and meet with the teachers, and actually watch as the teachers were in session. And as we were walking down the hallways and looking into the classrooms, all the kids knew the principal's name and they knew all the teachers' names. And so it's one thing for the teachers to know all the kids' names, but for them to all know each other's names and to kind of reference each other, it really felt like a community, a cool environment. And everyone was really happy. It was a really nice feeling. Sometimes people associate school with pure academics, but it really had a fun and welcoming environment, which is what I liked. Highest values. I would say that inclusion would probably be a really great value. There's STEM, there's reading and writing, and there's even social skills, but there's a level of diversity that's taught, and awareness that's taught at CEFA, which is pretty interesting for children at that age, and for them to know and understand mindfulness. I know it's something that they talk about and teach. Diversity, they touch upon different languages there. Of course, it's not very robust because it's not an immersion program, but the fact that they're talking about inclusion and diversity and mindfulness and awareness and citizenship is pretty amazing at that age. And I think that it's fundamental. Like if kids learn at least the fundamentals at an early age, they're able to kind of continue learning and continue to understand more about that. And they're open to that in the future, which I think is pretty great. And, that cascades into all the different elements and topics that they go over in school, which is a pretty good view in my books, right? I think it's been really impressive. We've seen some early learning schools out there, and what a lot of play-based early learning schools, what their curriculum is. And it's pretty impressive what CEFA has. And it made me surprised at what the capacity for children what their capacity really is. I think that we sometimes it's pretty easy to think that that kids have a limited capacity in terms of what they can learn, but they're so capable. And I think that the process that CEFA has to teach kids allows for them to really go over some pretty advanced things in terms of academics, and for it to be understood and recognized, and for it to really sink in for students, which is pretty amazing, I think, and pretty eye-opening for myself as a parent. My daughter can read and write, and she's 5, and she's not even in kindergarten yet, and that's amazing. She when you get into kindergarten, there are many kids that'll go in there that'll come from from home, from many different situations, and some of them will be a little bit more advanced than others. But Mary will be one who can read and write, and it's pretty amazing, yeah. And from there she can just take off, right? I think the common ties for parents is the fact that we've all kind of taken a look at early learning, and we've read a lot about it, and when we talk to each other, it's more that we talk about what we've read and what we've researched, and what we've experienced, and we've all been looking for these types of things specifically. So I don't know if there's an age or a demographic or anything like that, but in terms of psychographics, we're all very interested in early learning and education in general, and there's a real value towards education, I think. That's probably the common tie. Well, I guess the first reason would be kindergarten preparation. We've known some kids and some families that have gone to kindergarten and have really had some emotional and some hard time transitioning into that environment. And it was tough on the family, and it was tough on kids, because if the child or anyone in particular comes from one environment where it's family centered, or there's no learning involved, or not a lot of like structured learning involved, going into one that is very, very social, a lot more independent, and there is structured learning, there's a real transition there, and these kids are just 5. And we've seen kids struggle, and it's been a bit heartbreaking, what we've witnessed, and some kids handle it better than others. But Mary's 5 now, and she's going into kindergarten, and I know that she's going to do great. She's going to be prepared, and it's pretty cool. So kindergarten readiness, I guess, or preparedness is definitely one. I think the second reason also is, I work, and as parents, we try and kind of teach as much as we can, or do as much as we can. But we also try and be present. We're also trying to sort of manage our work schedules and things like that. And when I get home, I want to be a dad, and I want to be with my kid, and I don't necessarily want to teach her how to read. I want to, have fun with her. And I know that during the day, she's learning these things which are helping her development, her social development, her academic development, and better than I can do, so that when we have our family time, it's real family time. I appreciate that too, for sure. And I guess the last one is it's just that she can be in a group setting with her peers. She can have fun with her peers, She's an only child right now. We only have one kid. We may have more in the future, but when she gets home, it's just the 3 of us. And it's really nice that she gets like a full day in a group setting with her peers, with her friends. And there's a lot of learning in that too. So I think that's great. So in as much as it's really important to have family time, I think it's really important for her to be exposed to a lot of different people. And to have a bunch of peers that she can that she can learn from, and she can also be a teacher too, I guess. Yeah, and I know she really enjoys that too. I guess we would have started earlier with CEFA for sure. We went with traditional childcare from up until Mary was 2, and it was only until she was 2 that she went to CEFA. And we wanted to try different things, I guess, but we would have started earlier for sure. So I guess one of the things that I would say and suggest is to kind of, for parents to do their research and to learn more about the difference between traditional childcare and early learning, what early learning is. I mean, a lot of different countries incorporate early learning for sure. So there's a lot of examples out there. And I think France starts their provincial elementary school at 2 years old versus, in Canada, we start at 5. But there's the option of early learning, and they're mostly privatized. But I would encourage parents to learn more about what that is. And that would help make their decisions for sure, which is what we did. But even though we did, we still chose to go with traditional childcare for the first little while.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.